All right, hello. Welcome to Speedgaming Live 2023. Hang on, sorry, just a second there. I had to cut my echo here. I'm like hearing myself. But we got here 100% tournament matchup between skah and hemzar. You know, it's funny. I'd been reading Scotty's new name as Shakti for like ever since he changed his name like a month ago, and I just realized a few minutes for this race that it's actually Scotty, which makes more sense because he's changed his name a few times, and it's usually a variant on Scotty, I believe. This is the 12th and 21st seeds in the Hunter tournament. It is a double elimination, so whoever loses here won't be out of the tournament today. It'll just fall down into the lower bracket. It is a best of one, though, so we'll be doing just a single hundo race. As far as qualifying times, Scotty came in a couple minutes ahead of hemzar. I think his was a high 118. hemzar's was a high 120. Those are both very good times, by the way. Clearly experienced runners here. You just don't come into this game and drop a 120 or better. You just aren't getting those times without putting a fair amount of work into this game. Scotty definitely has a little bit of an advantage here, but it's still close. I mean, this could still go either way, I'd say. It's one of those things too that if there was a little bit more of a discrepancy, that would afford Scotty the ability to take some safeties, maybe take a save or a refill somewhere along the way. You don't think of hundo as being that volatile or that dangerous, but there really are a couple of scary points. The wrecked ship is the main problem with wrecked ship is you come in with low energy. You do that shine spark across, and Fantoon's not too scary, but after Fantoon, you've got those rooms with the wreck ship E-tank. I'm forgetting the name. The Kazans. Those things do a ton of damage, and they can easily double hit too. So your reserve doesn't really help you for those rooms. And there's also that difficult jump to get to the E-tank. We've seen runners try and fail at that. Usually, I think we even saw one runner have grapple and still mess that up, and then you really don't want to fall down there. And then late in the game, we have the stand-up glitch. There's a lot of things that can go wrong in stand-up glitch too. But the thing is, with the runners being only a couple minutes apart or so, and that's the average, that doesn't mean it's going to be a couple minutes apart in this particular run. I don't know if you're going to be able to afford that many safeties, because it's just going to give up most of your time advantage, and then you miss baby skip, and suddenly you're in trouble. So we see the runners have started. Seri Station, not too much to talk about here. Just try to avoid bonking the doors too much, but then we meet Ceres Ridley. So the fastest way to get through Ceres Ridley is just damage down to under 30 health, 30 or 30 or below, I believe. You can actually shoot this Ceres Ridley 100 times and he'll drop the baby and leave, and you won't be below 30. You don't necessarily have to be below the health, but that takes forever. Damaging down with the tail is much faster. Both runners doing that successfully. hemzar taking just a bit of a lead there. Didn't bonk the door. Ooh, almost a 58. And having to deal with the steam, which is very common. Now the runner going for that tile deboost, which is pretty difficult and also very situationally dependent. Just sometimes the tile's not there for you. Both runners getting a 45 series. That's very good. I think they'll both be happy with that. Oh, Scotty's saying he's going to be doing late croc. I was thinking maybe both runners would be doing early croc, but that goes to show it is viable to do it both directions. It's not just the very top runners that do late croc. I know Professor School likes to do late croc. I also do late croc, but I'm not any good. But nowhere, I didn't have the time to prep for this tournament. Even if I did, I'm pretty confident I wouldn't have qualified. So that if hemzar takes the early croc out, then we're going to see fairly significant route divergence, but that won't be maybe 18 minutes or so in 20 minutes in. Until then, these runners should be pretty similar, unless somebody decides to go get early bumps, but probably not. Most runners do not do the early bumps variant. All right, standard moonfall off the right side. Like to see that both runners have that moonwalk turned on. I highly recommend if you're new or even if you're not completely new to the game, turn that moonwalk on early. It's not that difficult to manage, and even if you can't do the moonfall, it's still good to get that mindset because eventually you're going to want to do that moonfall. It's one of those things that takes a bit to learn, and once you learn it, you've got it. Yeah, exactly, Sassy. It's definitely fun to compete even if you're not at the top times. I was expecting to do qualifiers, but then I just didn't have the time to practice. I got sidetracked with other activities, unfortunately. But anyway, all right. So the opening of the game, pretty similar. Even any percent PRKD, it'd be the same type of thing here. Your series, moonfall down to your morph ball. You get your opening missiles. We go up and head to get bombs. And it's not until we get to Green Brinstar that we start doing the 100%. There is a missile pack that the runners are going to pass by. Well, there's one here too, an old Mother Brain room. They can't get it, they don't have bombs. And even once they have bombs, it's just faster to get that missile pack at the very end of the game instead of getting it as one of the very first missile packs. A little bit of difference here. Scotty going more for the wall climb method. hemzar going for the sledge grab behemoth style method. There's advantages to both. I think at the very top level, it's hard to say one's better than the other. There might be, I think the wall climb one is technically 15 frames faster or something, but it's one of those things like if you can do the ledge grab version fast, then that's better for you. Scotty getting a very respectable 446 bomb times, I think. And hemzar also sub-hour or sub-5 minute bombs, so that's good. Both runners putting up a decent start. We'll see what Bomb Treezo has for us. Is dropping Scotty some missiles, and very precise jump there by Scotty to be able to collect only some of the missiles. That's what you want to do. Let's see if hemzar... hemzar picked up all the missiles. They didn't look like they were as well grouped for hemzar. It was like they were spaced out, but they were all horizontally spaced out, so there wasn't... I'm not sure if hemzar could have done that jump where you only get half of them. Since we only have 5 missiles in capacity, we don't want to collect all the missiles at once, because then we don't have enough to kill Bomb Treezo with. And you really want to kill him with missiles. If you start shooting P shots at him, he might do his decapitation animation. And that's just a little bit slower. See here's Scotty shooting these pirates as he runs by. We'll see hemzar do the same thing. That does expand the pirate's hitbox just a little bit, and it basically, you actually take the hit sooner. And because you take the hit sooner, it means that you have more time running on the platforms, and you get just a few extra frames. So you can kind of see already the runners just trying to squeeze those frames out of this game. Little small things. Try to gain a little bit of an advantage. We have our mock ball, and then hopefully we'll get this nice D-boost up here off this super. This just times really nicely. It's almost like the developers knew that this would happen. Boom, right off that waiver. It's so simple too. All you have to do is just get there on time. You don't have to do this first part of the room in any particular way. I don't believe you just the second part. You do the second part well, and that waiver winds up nicely. That looks. I think that'll be okay too for hemzar. Get that deboost going back. Yeah, there we go. And runners will be collecting all the items here they can get. We don't have to come back to this area. And now we're going to do this reverse mock ball. See if Scotty can get this. Not an easy trick. Oh, just didn't get the morph in. So it's just tight. You don't have a lot of room to work with, and it depends heavily on how you jump into the room too. So you kind of have to make adjustments too based on how you do this initial jump. We'll see hemzar go for this as well. And gets it very nice. So that's going to save a good 5 seconds or so. So Scotty has a bit of a lead here, but hemzar's going to make a bit of time back with that reverse mock ball. Scotty picking up an extra drop while he's doing those bombs, while he's bombing out that wall. That can save time, but it's actually pretty easy to lose time doing that too. You want to make sure that you aren't so focused on trying to kill the Rio. It's like their hemzar deciding, you know what, that drop's not going to be worth it. I don't want to lose the time there, so I think that was a smart decision. You want to focus on getting that wall bombed out first and drop second. Oh, interesting. Oh no, he didn't. Okay, I thought for a second Scotty picked up that missile pack. He picked up charge beam. You could pick up that missile pack early if you wanted to. It's only slightly faster to get it later. All right, and I expect both runners are going to go down red tower here, but you never know. Scotty rolling into the room, so that should be set up for the bomb here. Yeah, the moonfall from up top. Ooh, that's fancy. That's not an easy moonfall to do between the rippers. Oh, hemzar trying to do it from the second ledge, but didn't quite work. Unless he tried it from the first ledge and just landed there. It's not an easy one to do. You're doing it blind. And then 100%, we got to pick up this spacer anyway. We don't want to pick it up last and have it carry, have it override our plasma. Might as well get it now. And it is going to be helpful throughout the run, or at least throughout the first half of the run. Fancy entry there from Shaq. I keep wanting to say Shaq Team. I'm sorry, Scotty. I don't know what it is about that name. And hemzar also getting it. Nice turn. He does eat up a lot of supers, but then he create right here to help us get back up to almost full. Being at only 3 supers in here versus 4 doesn't matter if you do the 2+3 method. I was gonna say that didn't look right. Okay, Scotty did. It was like he unmorphed quick too soon. I haven't seen that before, but Scotty was quick to correct it and make sure he's in the right position for this. Yep. So those first 2 missiles are dependent on where you stand. And that's why you see the runners do that bomb thing in the corner. That bomb jump puts them right in a good position to be able to do this. Looks like he's setting up for the 2 missiles as well. Nicely done. No stand-up crate today. Scotty's going to use the super here on Minicrate. Oh, wow. hemzar didn't get any supers. That's not a big deal. It is a little bit annoying. He's going to have to missile Minicrate, and once he's done, he's going to be a super short of where Scotty is. It shouldn't make too big of a deal. but it is something to keep an eye on. Oh, nicely done from Scotty there. Did you, I don't know if you saw that he laid that bomb early and then collected the E-tank, and then the bomb was there to blow up the, I think that's what he's going for. This is more typical, I think, what hemzar is doing. You pick up the E-tank, and then you're going to use a missile to take care of those guys. Unfortunately, it did take a little bit of damage. It looks like Scotty did too, actually. Ideally, you would, when you kill those bugs, the health they drop would go into your reserves. But they both entered Business Center with empty reserves. So that's another thing we'll have to keep an eye on and see. Those reserves can come into play later in the run. You ideally want to get up to 100. It might be more important for Scotty if Scotty is doing late croc, because I think it's harder to fill the reserves from late croc, whereas with early croc, you get all those health drops from croc. After you beat croc, I think that helps you fill up the reserves. All right, so we got our high jump boots. Next thing we're going to go do is go get our speed booster. Pick up a few items on the way. Do some farming there. A nice big health for Scotty. And you don't want to forget this missile down here. hemzar also getting some health. Ooh, Scotty doing the upper path with the D-boost here. This is a little bit more difficult. Not bad at all. And then while we're here, we're going to go ahead and get Speed Booster and Wave and the miners along that way. There are other miners here in the Bubble Mountain area. Those are going to be done later. So we do have to come back to kill Ridley. And when we do, we'll be leaving this area. The reason we pick these items up now, obviously, Speed Booster helps tremendously throughout the run. We want to get that as early as possible. And the Wave Beam also helps the damage output, being able to do X Factors. It's just a very nice item to get that, even though it would technically route faster to get that Wave Beam later, it just makes so much sense to get it sooner. It's kind of doing what I like to do, not running, just running through that door. I believe it's more optimal to jump through that door. You get a better door transition, but it also makes it harder to kill those bugs. And you see Scotty stuck around for an extra farm or two. Wanted to make sure he gets some supers and is up to full supers, or at least he was. This first part of the run, until we get to Wreck Ship and defeat Fantoon, we're just stuck with this single super pack. The runners could have gotten the Spore Spawn supers sooner, but that's rather slow. It's faster to get it later when you have Speed Booster, and you can also use a power bomb up those walls. So runners opting to get that super pack later. It just means they're going to have to manage the resources better for this part of the run. Nice quick drop there. All right, here's where we're going to see some potential route convergence. So Scotty is going to head left. He should jump right over this little gap here. There he goes. Croc, we'll see you later. He's going to head over to Ice Beam. Meanwhile, I mean, hemzar could do that too. And then they both be running late Croc. Or we may see hemzar heading down to do Croc sooner. And we're not doing Croc sooner because we like to see Croc sooner. That is not the reason that hemzar is doing this. The reason is we want to get that grapple beam. And the grapple beam is going to help with some stuff later in the run. The reason we don't want to do Croc sooner, we don't do this for the sake of doing Croc, is because of this Croc fight coming up right here. So as Croc, as we fight Croc, as the fight starts and he starts backing up, every time Croc stops backing up, he has a 25% chance to do this right here. He starts swiping. And that's bad. Whenever he swipes, it's just a time loss. So here he's being nice, he's backing up. Oh, there's a swipe. Just a little bit of time loss there. And it's just, unfortunate. Last swipe there. That was almost pretty good, Croc. Little trolly at the end there. And there's just not anything you can realistically do to control Croc swiping or not swiping. It's just 25% chance in RNG, and that's the RNG. It's not something you control in general. There are very specific cases where you can. Although this particular room, because it has this acid in it, I don't think even those specific cases don't work. You're just not controlling the RNG here for Croc. And so you're just kind of at the mercy of it. If you could afford to do a missile and super, as you know, actually I want to watch this room here from Scotty, this red tower. Very nice. That room's very pleasing for speedrunners. It's just the platforms are spaced very nicely in that room. For nice ledge grabs, it can be done very cleanly. What I was going to say about Croc, if you could afford to spend a missile and super on every time you're fighting him, that would allow him to back up 4 steps every time instead of just 2 steps, so you'd have a little bit less RNG. Problem is, I mean, we look at Hemzar's super count, he's at 1. He didn't even use supers during the Croc fight, so we just don't have the ammo to spare on that. And the supers are useful later in the run anyway. Even now, Scotty's already at 4, which is good. Now he's at 5. He's going to have to burn one right here, but you want to keep that super count up for this next segment. Does that? Oh, nice Indiana Jones for Hemzar. Sorry, I can't keep up with both. Well done. Using the grapple already to get over to that missile pack just a little bit faster. And Scotty is doing the Shine Spark kill on those side hoppers, I think. They've got to be the side hoppers. But you want to kill those side hoppers. They're kind of laggy otherwise. All right, and Scotty's coming up here for potential ocean fly. We'll see if he goes for it or not. Ooh. Okay, good backup. So it is difficult to get that, to throw that ledge grab. You're doing this short charge and charging shot and everything. Although I don't think he charged a shot. He was probably planning to go for like a missile. A missile ocean fly. But once you fell into that gap, just the best thing to do is to just, it was actually pretty good that he was able to back it up and get that spark off before the timer expired on it. All right, we're going to see Scotty go ahead and collect this spec over here. It looks like he's at low energy. This is, I think, actually pretty normal for, especially for late Croc. You just burn all that energy on sparks. In fact, if he'd gotten Ocean Fly, he would have less energy now. Now, Hemzar is going to skip the Ice Beam. That's because it's actually faster to get the Ice Beam later in the run. The reason that Scotty needed it is because he doesn't have grapple. So like if you have grapple, you want to skip the Ice Beam. If you don't have grapple, then you need the Ice Beam in order to get Spring Ball. We'll talk about that later in the run. All right, we got a couple things coming up here. We've got our favorite friend Fantoon, and the RNG that comes with it. And we've also got Hemzar going for this Alpha Spark, and then the nice red tower room is coming up here too. Ooh, a fast for Scotty. Alpha Spark for Hemzar. Looks like it's going to be a fast mid. Oh, no, we can control slow. Meanwhile, hemzar making it up this room. Doesn't have the ice beam. We'll see if hemzar goes for that ledge grab at the top. Okay, he's looking. Looks like he's going for the shot method. It's like the hero shot that you would do in PRKD. And looks like Scotty got a couple of slows after that initial fast. It does clean it off. Nice 3-round. 3 rounds generally a goal. I mean, I know the top runners like to go for their 2 rounds and their 1 rounds, but 3 rounds just fine. Yeah, hemzar is doing early croc, and Scotty is doing late croc. I will say hemzar's health is looking a little bit lower than I would have expected. I could just be me not being as familiar with the early croc route. That could be something to keep an eye on. Because I think it's not a dangerously low. I think it's similar to where Scotty's was. It's just Scotty has 1 less E-tank, so I would have expected Scotty to have less health at this point. Scotty's got to watch his health too. It looks 127. You might think you're doing good, but if he drops under 100, he drops to 100 or less, and then he takes a hit from a Kazan, it's all over. So hopefully he can keep his health above 100 here. Currently at 112. Meanwhile, hemzar is going to be going for his ocean fly attempt, or he could just grapple over actually if he wants to. It looks like he might just be doing that. Yeah. Ooh. That was intentional, by the way. I'm pretty sure Scotty looked at his health, knew he could afford the Kazan hit because it was above 100. Now we got to watch Scotty here. He doesn't have grapple. He could turn high jump off. That would make this jump easy, but that's not the fastest thing to do. He's going to go for this bomb jump. Okay, it does 2 bomb jumps. That way, that first bomb jump is just a safety thing, just to make sure, yes, I got the bomb jump. Because if you don't get it and you start moving left and you missed your timing, you're going to fall down in those spikes. He did have his reserve still. He would have probably been fine, but he also wants to keep that reserve, ideally. I'm going to use those reserves later. And from hemzar's perspective, I talked about the ocean fly. I think ocean fly, if you get it, saves time with early croc, but only if you get it. Like, doing it 2 shine sparks, I think, doesn't save time over the grapple because of all the setup that it takes for that first shine spark. It really only pays for itself if you get the full ocean fly. So I think that's pretty common. Early croc to do the grapple. All right, hemzar setting up for his Fantoon. Ooh, Scotty. Nice addict, did just miss that one last key hunter. Looked like he was going for the speed keep, didn't quite get that, but still a pretty quick room. And hemzar I didn't miss. Was that a slow on hemzar's side? Might have been a mid. It takes a little flame hit there. Should be okay. Ooh, wow. That was a nice Doppler there from hemzar. It looked like a in-room stutter Doppler. That is not that easy to do. Isn't that how it is? hemzar just executed an extremely good Doppler and then has trouble with the easier Doppler. That's just how. This is how these games are. Did pick up a little bit of health at least from those Fantoon drops and may get more here. So his health's looking better now. I was worried earlier. Oh yeah, up over 200. Not completely safe, but should be okay. All right, coming up here, we should see Scotty go for I suspect he'll go for the robot flush. Some people don't go for it though. It is kind of tricky. But it's one of those things, like if you don't do it quickly, it won't work. So you're kind of incentivized somewhat to go for it anyway, because you got to go fast to the room anyway. If you're going for it, it's not like you need a long setup for it. So you can see he's just shooting shots into the ground randomly there. Looks random from our perspective, but hopefully those shots woke up the robots and also took out the floor underneath the robots. And if things all went well, those robots will already be in their little cubby holes at the bottom. And yeah, it looks like Hemzar's got plenty of health here now. Still has to be a little bit careful. Cannot take 2 hits from the Kazans. Alright, just a controlled walk through the room. And Scotty did pull off the robot flush, looks like. I see them both in their cubby holes. I didn't hear him shoot at those robots. I think he got it. Very nicely done. But yeah, Hemzar taking it safe with that Kazan room. As long as you face forward the whole time, it's not too bad. You don't really want to get caught trying to turn around, maybe trying to do a deboost, because then you can actually KO through those enemies, and as you fall through them, so like what can happen is when you turn around, it's an uninterruptible animation, and so you won't stop at the Kazan, you'll just fall right through it, and then you take damage from it as you fall through it. So it's like a double whammy there. Will Scotty going for speedball maybe? Ooh, it's a good try. Very difficult trick. And just a reminder, it looks like Scotty's significantly ahead here. But we have to remember that Hemzar has already done Croc, and Croc might be a little faster for Scotty because he's going to have full beam combo. But it's still going to take some time to do those rooms. Clear out all the items in those rooms too, all the miners. So Scotty's ahead, but he's not this far ahead. All right, Scotty liking his health resources, choosing not to refill the ship. Ooh, it does get banged up a bit there. Should be okay. Hemzar getting trolled just a little bit by these robots, but it gets through. And Scotty's going to go for this wraparound shot. So he's shooting at a door that's actually on the other side of the room. Like the shot wraps around and hits the door on the left side. So now there's this shine spark that looked a little low, but it worked. And that door is already open for him. Is he going to go? Okay, not going to go for the Teletubby huggy. That's totally fine. Nice speedy jump from Hemzar there to get like those missiles. Now we got a lot of health. Once you get to this point, your health is significantly better, really, for the rest of the run. So you'll see the runners doing lots of E-boosts and caring very little about their health from here on out. At least from Scotty's side. Hemzar's got to get there first. His health's looking pretty good too. Oh yeah, I didn't mention it, but as Scotty was, after Scotty did that wraparound shot and fell down, he went to the pause menu. I don't think he needed to pop his reserves, but he did unequip Ice and Spazer, and that's just because all these enemies here in the early part of the game, we don't need Ice. Ice just freezes them. It makes everything take longer. It literally makes strats not work because it's just, you don't always have time to shoot the enemy twice before you run into them. Frozen, you're going to be blocked by them. And also, because we have just Wave Beam, we can do X Factors, which we'll see later in the run. I don't think Hemzar even went for the robot flush. That really wasn't that bad, though. Those robots didn't take too long to get down. Another reason we can be so cavalier with health. You know, if you're Scotty, you've got this gravity suit. You're just, I mean, look at all that damage he should have taken. He's barely lost any health. Nice mock ball to get out there and not fall back down. Oh, that was a good attempt from Hemzar. He did the morph ball early. Might have even been intentional because it was actually faster than what Scotty did, because Scotty kind of went for the whole thing and missed it, lost some time. And meanwhile, Hemzar had a soft roll in, but that's still faster. You're already rolling in morph, so well done there. And Scotty's going to set up for Mission Impossible here. That's why he's taking a moment, getting his bearings. If you're right, it's just a quick jump here, a buffer jump, and then a very quick wall jump, quicker than you think you should have to do it. Oh, and Hemzar going for this Shine Spark strat here. That's a nice strat. It's technically a little bit slower than the strat that Scotty was going for, but I'm pretty sure, and again, Hemzar ended up doing that room faster than Scotty. Taking a little bit simpler strat to do it. Ooh, I'm having a little bit of trouble with this wraparound shot. Does get it. Or at least I'm assuming you did. I couldn't hear it because we've got Scotty's sound on, but if you do the strat, you can hear the sound. You know you got it. That's a nice little farm Scotty did there to pick up that super. That was only recently. Maybe that's not a new strat. I think it might be somewhat recent strat. That's certainly something that I learned about recently. Okay, Hemzar going to take. Yeah, Hemzar did not like his setup there. I didn't really talk about it with Scotty, but you do want to fall down the middle of these crumbles. So there you go. You get the shot high, and then you can lay right in the middle. Ooh, and Hemzar going for that turn it. Once he got it, he started turning back and forth like that. That's a very nice damage down. Damage down. I don't know what you call it. Fall down. Quick dropping. That's probably what I'm looking for. All right, let's see if Scotty goes for this clip jump you can do. I don't know what this is called. I probably used to know what it's called. You can kind of clip to the wall here. Okay, not going for it. Just going to lay the power bomb and jump out. That's fine too. And then laying that power bomb there opens the yellow door at the top. You can't see it, but that door should be open now. And when the runners return later, they won't have to waste time waiting for that door to open. So that's a nice little time save for later in the run. And then Scotty's coming up to the that blockbuster. We'll see if he goes for that. This is a difficult trick as well. Did go for it, fell just a little bit short of getting the mock through. If you do it correctly, you maintain your blue into that morph ball, and it breaks the blocks in this next room. So far, both runners doing pretty well. No real major mistakes that I can think of. You know, there's little bobbles here and there, but you know, both picked up the abyssals and gauntlet, no problem. Both got the bomb jump, or got the. Or I guess Hemzar didn't need the bomb jump, but both got the Rex B tank. Decent fancy fights. Not a good quality race. Scotty's going for this short charge here. Some folks like to do a double stutter. I can't do those double stutters in my life, but it is possible to do with a single tap 3. Single stutter 3 tap. Scotty getting on the second try. All right, Scotty deciding to get the charge before the door, and then it's just going to be able to run in and shine Spark up and get that E-Tank. Hemzar also going for Mission Impossible. This looks like a good setup. Oh. That looked good, so my guess is that Hemzar just didn't wall jump fast enough. You need to wall jump like faster than you would think you should have to. That is the real trick to that maneuver, but no problem. Hemzar's right back on track. And so far, a lot of the I know there was that early route divergence, but a lot of this route to Wreck Ship and through Green Bryn is the same. Like having grapple doesn't really change the route; it just changes what you do along the route. And even then, a lot of this Green Bryn is very similar. It's going to be a little bit later in Meridia that we're going to see some differences due to the grapple. Looks like Scotty had a specific setup to try to do this room. It's a tricky tech there. If you had Spring Ball, it'd be easy. If you wanted to sit around and wait for the bomb jump, it'd be a little bit easier, but it'd be slower. But that kind of narrow cap in that room is just there to be annoying. No other reason for it to be like that. And I believe Scotty's next trip here is going to be to Botchwood. So I expect we'll see the X Factor. The default strat is quite popular. I believe even Zenny has picked it up at this point, which is saying something. Oh, he got it. Hemzar getting that clip out. Nice. Looked like he missed it at first and was able to recover. So that's, I mean, it's almost like extra nice, even though it was probably technically slower to have to recover, but it was still faster than what Scotty did. Scotty having waited that power bomb and having the extra lag from it. All right, so Scotty, you get a setup here. Charge the shot, jump, move to the left, wait, and then nudge forward. That was a little bit, moved forward a little bit faster than I would have cared for. You can actually just kind of walk forward. Still gets it done. And then once you land those 4 particles, you just have to do 60% after that. Hemzar also going for that blockbuster. Just wasn't able to open the door. Did get the mock ball parts, didn't get the door open. Scotty, ooh, that was very clean. Is this gonna be full happy? Oh! It's just so tight. It's such a tight trick. You gotta jump, and then you have to let go of your jump button before you push up to trigger the spark. And if you don't do it quite right, if you're still holding jump when you press up, you just spark straight into the ceiling. That was a very clean setup, though. Unfortunate. And Hemzar also going for this somewhat tight charge. Gets it second try. Does a little jump there. That's not bad. Not a bad strat. Lined himself with the island to make sure that you can just line yourself up with the plant, but I mean, that doesn't always work. Sometimes you think you're aligned with the plant and you're off by a bit. With what Hemzar did is more normalized. The full whiffy. I don't know if I've heard that before. Looks like Scotty's going for that rain dance setup. It's a nice rosy color on Dragon there. That looked like a pretty good spark and damage. Ooh, that spark might have been high. I'm actually not sure why Dragon's not dead. I'm gonna guess the spark is high. This is dangerous. Okay. I don't think I would have done that. To Scotty's credit, he looked prepared for it. And second try, spike suit. Nice. As long as you get that in one of the first 2 tries, it doesn't lose you time. But once you've done a lot of damage to Dragon, where Dragon only has 1 or 2 supers left of damage, what'll happen if you Shine Spark into him is that he interrupts your Shine Spark early, and you start taking damage. And you're in this blue state too, which means you start taking damage without iframes. Very nice, Scotty, getting that reverse happy there because he had the spike suit. And so you're in a situation where you're in the middle of Dragon. His hitbox is still active, even though Dragon is dead. And you're taking damage, and you don't get iframes. So you're taking something like 40 damage per frame. This game runs at 60 frames per second, so it's a ton of damage. Now, Scotty did appear prepared for it. I did see him hold aim down. That shrinks Samus's hitbox with the intent of trying to get out of that hitbox. You're trying to get Samus's hitbox out of Dragon's space so that you stop taking damage. And if you do it carefully, you can avoid the chain damage, because you could just, if you're taking 40 damage a frame for 60 frames, I mean, what is that, 2,400 damage in a second? You die real quick. It doesn't matter if you have 70 tanks. You burn through those. So Scotty taking a risk, but it worked out. And now we're going to see one of the big reasons why runners opt to do the early croc versus late croc. Scotty's next thing is going to be getting the spring ball. You would normally use the grapple beam to grapple into this area right here in this next room. You'll notice Scotty does not have the grapple beam, so what he's going to have to do instead is do this Puyo clip. Nicely done. That looked like the correct manip. There's a particular manip you can do to buffer your shot so that you fire the shot at the right time, where that Puyo is frozen in just the right spot to allow Samus to clip through, because it is only one position. I think the Puyo will be in that position for 7 frames or so. Oh, hemzar going for his bottom fight. Also a 1 round, nicely done. Also doing the decalled X Factor. And hemzar will now be going for his happy attempt, or full happy. Let's see what he chooses to do. Is a little bit of a slow start. Might still be able to get it. Ah, it was really close. Ooh, but does get top shelf happy, is able to land on that platform. That's not free. You have to have a high enough shine spark to get that. So that's actually a pretty decent time save when you get the top shelf happy versus a regular happy. So pretty good. His ledge grab was really good on that full happy attempt, but I thought he started his spark a little bit soon, so I don't know if he had that much leeway to wait the full distance. So I think the happy was a good call. And it was close. That was probably a frame off from being full happy. So good attempt. And hemzar also going for this rain dance like setup here. You do the X Factor early. The particles hopefully fly around in the belly. Also a nice rosy color here, so that will be a good spark for hemzar as well. And does get it into. That's what you want to do. And it gets the spike suit. Nicely done. All right, we'll see how Scotty chooses to do this plasma room. There's a few different ways you can do this room. There are some ways where you don't even see the enemies you're shooting at. You're just like, is that enemy dead? I don't know. Looked like he had a little bit of trouble with it, but did kill a few of the enemies off screen. And hemzar, nicely done. Both runners getting that reverse spark across, reverse halfie. Now, it was around this point that Scotty had to turn his ice beam back on. But hemzar doesn't even have ice beam. I think he's still running around. Well, no, he's got spacer. He must have turned spacer off. Oh, right. hemzar won't need to. Yeah, that's right. Because he won't ever need to turn spacer back on, and you don't have ice beam yet. So Scotty doesn't have to do that menuing. All right, and Scotty chooses to pick up the E-Tank now. Could have picked it up on a previous pass through the rooms. I think hemzar also opted to pick up this E-Tank later. Again, the reason why they have the same number of E-Tanks now, it's not because hemzar has that twin tank, it's because hemzar's already done Croc and got an E-Tank from Croc. Ooh, is this going to be... Oh, very nicely done, Scotty. I have forgotten what that trick is called. I just remember it's cool. You do that. And there's hemzar using the grapple to get up here instead. Doesn't even have the ice beam, but even if he did, the grapple method is way more consistent. And you don't have to go to the door too, so you're saving time on the door transition. We'll see if hemzar is going to do any grappling here. Looks like not. So for the longest time, this part of the game has been a traditional just stand around, do nothing, like what hemzar is doing. But recently, we've discovered that if you have grapple, you can manipulate Shack Tool into taking a more efficient path to this room. He takes like a shallower angle and ends up moving his body less, so and therefore moves the room faster. It is tricky. You can mess it up and cause him to go slower. You can even cause him to disconnect from the wall, so there's some risk to it. You don't want to just spam grapple because it's fun. You want to have some purpose to it. Chat saying that it doesn't save time RTA. I think it saves like a half-second RTA or something. It saves a very small amount of time. It doesn't save 2 seconds like the task does or whatever. So, admittedly, is a half-second worth risking Shack Tool, like getting spun around or something, like something bizarre happens and now you've lost like 30 seconds because you have to reset the room? Probably not. Scotty, remembering to get this missile pack. We weren't able to get it earlier because we didn't have pop-ups. And this is where getting Ice Beam later is a little bit more efficient. Like overall, there's been some debate about whether late Croc or early Croc's faster. I think the consensus is if the RNG were great from Croc, maybe early Croc can be competitive. Otherwise, late Croc's probably a little bit faster on average. I think if you get like perfect RNG from early Croc, you might be able to make it faster. See right here, Scotty's already headed this direction. He's not far from Ice Beam, but he already has the Ice Beam. Whereas hemzar is going to be able to head this direction, get the Ice Beam, and then head down. So it's just a little bit more efficient routing to get the Ice Beam later. But again, that Croc fight. We'll see later how much faster Scotty's Croc fight is on account of having this full beam combo. Still not going to do Croc now, though. We're going to shoot right over Croc's score. Partly because we have that speed. We're carrying this very nice speed. Look how much faster this room is having that speed. You wouldn't have that if you were just leaving Croc. And maintains the speed through the next room too. But it also works out. We've got one more item to get on the way out of Croc, and it kind of works out to Croc after Ridley. Hemzar also getting this nice jumps to the room here. Should be getting his E-Tank from Batu now. All right, so Scotty's going to back up to the right and then go left, and he gets this blue. That allows him to go right through all those fire blooms. And gets a nice bounce over here. Ooh, barely made that ledge. Oh, that was nice from Hemzar. So Hemzar not going for that, why can I not remember what that's called? That has a nice name. It's the spring ball strat. But what he did do was a short charge. It was a pretty tight short charge. He got that short charge fairly early. He was able to turn right around and spark right up. So very fast Shine Spark there from Hemzar. I'm going to remember that strat like 30 minutes from now. Randomly shout it out. Alright, typical strat where you hold both crouch item buttons and shoot straight up. That causes the plasma shot to have to go through enough of Golden Chorizo that his high frames run out and he takes a second hit, so he's getting double hit by those plasma shots. Which makes that fight go a little bit faster. We'll see Hemzar do the exact same thing. Blue Bomber, that's what it is. Blue Bomber is the name of the strat. Thank you, chat. Oh, that super looked good to me, didn't it? That super didn't look bad either. These gates trolling our runners today. And with all this full loadout, this is just another room in the game for Scotty. Nothing fancy going on there. Does need to make sure he doesn't fall down through these rooms here. It's easy to do. Looks like he took his time there a bit. I think that was probably the right idea. Oh, Hemzar was trying for something really cool there. So he did that little run up. It's still pretty fast. He got a mock ball into that room. But if you time your run up correctly, you can still be going kind of slow, but manage to get into the blue state, and then your blue just lets you roll right to the bombs too. So nice try. And still relatively fast because he got that mock ball. And here we go. Hemzar's just going to be able to more efficiently get that ice beam right now. I don't think there's still the power bombs a shame when you have to get them. Part of this whole 100% deal. All right, and we are going to see, I think there's a decent chance we'll see fast pirates here from Scotty. Let's see. Yep, setting up for the fast pirates. You kind of manip both pirates into action. A little dicey, but it worked. They're very nice. Getting his pirates killed quickly. Ooh, and gets the Plower House. Oh, that's really difficult. Well done. It's hard to get that door to open and not lose your momentum. This is a pretty quick fight from Ridley. And hemzar setting up for this little D-boost here. I have to wait just a bit for it, but it does look how far the room takes you. I don't know if he meant to fall down that last stair step there, but not a big deal. I believe it is still faster to do that D-boost, even if you have to wait for it a bit. And we'll like to see, yep, hemzar runs to the right and then runs to the left. Also getting that blue. Ooh, drop the blue there just to fire the shot. Ooh, a nice speedball out from Scotty. Being good use of our items now. Spring ball, screw tack, still doing those ledge grabs. Alright, hemzar gonna try to pick up this missile pack without falling through. I didn't talk about with Scotty. Yeah, better to take that slow than to fall down to those crumbles. It's a good minute time loss if you have to go again. And here we go, hemzar setting for that same technique. Holding both crouch buttons, get those double hits on Golden Chorizo. And Scotty going for Hoda Ruby special. Might be good. He got the missile. And he broke the blocks. That's good enough. That's still big savings. Very nicely done. So it's a very particular trick. You gotta get kind of the right amount of speed and jump timing and everything to be able to both get the item and be blue and break those blocks like that. Green Gate being a little nicer to hemzar than it was to Scotty. Now we're going to start to see the cleanup here. So we're going to be re-entering Bubble Mountain area. We've got to do North Reserve, and we've got to do the Bubble Mountain Missile. And then if you're Scotty, we got to do Croc. hemzar's already got Croc done, so we're going to get a little bit better idea of where we sit in this race. About 5 minutes, maybe less. hemzar killing these key hunters. I believe Scotty did the same thing. You want to kill at least 2 of them to reduce lag in this room. We'll see if hemzar goes for the fast pirates as well. Scotty's going for a D-boost there, I think. Didn't quite get it, but still going to get this Bubble Mountain Missile soon enough. Ooh, that looked like that. Yeah, I don't know if that was a pretty good cleanup. I'm having a hard time deciding if hemzar did that on purpose or like maybe that's like a purposeful hybrid of the fast pirates. It didn't look quite like the typical fast pirates, but it also wasn't that slow. The question: who has more percent? I'm not sure. Probably hemzar. I don't even know. It doesn't really matter because the routes have diverged once we get past this croc, then we'll have a good idea of who's ahead or not. Like even if Hemzar had more percentage at this moment, it still could be that Scotty's ahead because of the route divergence. So the big difference here is that Scotty's already done this, or sorry, Hemzar's already done this croc, and Scotty's doing it now. But Scotty's also done Purple Mountain cleanup, and Hemzar needs to do that still. So I'll have a better answer for your question in a little bit. Not sure if Scotty's trying to get a short charge in that little window. I don't know. That's really difficult. Might just be muting. That's not really realistic. So another advantage of doing the late croc is these rooms are just faster. Yeah, I'd be willing to believe it, Chad. It's not something I regularly think about as what percentage I'm at a given point in the Honda run. And I understand the question was really more about who's ahead, and the truth is, I think Scotty's ahead, but it's like we'll know for sure after the routes catch up, and that's only a few minutes away now. Scotty has that grapple beam. So there's a couple more items to pick up, and then he'll be making his way up towards X-Ray. Which is also where Hemzar wants to go, but Hemzar needs to clean up Bubble Mountain first. Hemzar using that frozen fire flea to jump off of. Probably saved a bit of time. Unless you've got good forward momentum, that space jump can be a little bit slow. Sometimes you want to have stuff to jump off of to get more out of it. Hemzar not going to bother with the Odorby special, that's fine. Alright, and Scotty is about to pick up the last item that Hemzar already has. And there it is. So now we could say definitively that Scotty is ahead. Hemzar still has the 3 Warfare Reserve items and the Bubble Mountain items. So Scotty has 4 more items at the moment. Should probably be checking to see how far ahead Scotty is. So the elevator fade out was around 105.5. See when Hemzar gets over there. Oh man, Sassy, that's crazy. That's a pretty big peep. That's a pretty big PB for Behemoth, regardless. Scotty, I think he did try for that spike suit to carry all the way over to X-Ray, but it's pretty difficult to keep it even if you get it. And as we can see, that space jump over really wasn't that slow. And that's part of the time save analysis too. So when people talk about late croc being faster, one of the things they're accounting for is being able to get that spike suit. So the early croc really isn't necessarily slower. Especially on a case-by-case basis for for any given individual, like early croc could just be faster. To just work better with the strats that you do. Is Scotty gonna try for this? Reverse slinky? It's so difficult. Got stopped right away on those stupid side hoppers. Theoretically, you can morph and then do spring wall jumps up a lot of that green hill section, but it's really tough. All right, it looks like Hemzar is a little more than 2 minutes behind. Try to get an exact measure here. And it's hard to say where those 2 minutes were. It wasn't the route. The route is not 2 minutes slower. And there were even some specific points that I pointed out where Hemzar actually saved time over Scotty. So it's just so it looks like 2 minutes and 25 seconds behind. It's just a culmination of Scotty's movement is just a little bit cleaner. Maybe he goes for a little bit more on average. So even though he's missing things here and there, he's getting things a lot too, and saving time on those little time saves throughout. I mentioned Hoda Ruby missiles. That was something Scotty went for. Definitely saved time on that. But probably just general movement, cleaner ledge grabs. You know, if you're saving even a quarter second or 15 frames per broom, that's going to add up over a long run. Scotty, you're going to get that short charge before going on the elevator, and that timer does not track down. We see the invisible Samus thanks to the 30 frames per second. Oh! Bonk. That's fine. Scotty can afford that at this point. Is Hemzar going to try for this too? Like a similar attempt to Scotty's, forgot kind of hung over with his side hoppers. I'm not sure either runner was seriously going for a reverse slinky. It's a really tough strat. And it's kind of a lot of investment for not as much reward, compared to all the other things you can be practicing too. All right, and Scotty should be at 99% items at this point. There's no easy way to check. Even if there was, it would take time to do so. And now that we have those power bombs, this room is just a little bit faster. It's also right on the way. We're running right by it. We'll get those final missiles, the 230 missiles, and head to G4. This looks like it's going to be a sub 120 pace for Scotty. Should be an excellent time. And G4 right at 1:11:15 for Scotty. I don't know what Scotty's PB is, but I guess by the splits, it looked like he fell behind his fine a little bit before the splits went red, I think, before he entered that room, but this might be close to his PB. whatever it is, that's a good time for sure. Meanwhile, hemzar's going to finish his cleanup. Just got to get these climb supers and 230 missiles, and he'll be at 100%. Who gets a little trolled there, but is able to clean it up nicely. That's smart. Scotty getting trolled just a bit and not getting too many drops. Some of that's intentional, but I mean, you want a couple supers, don't you? Sitting on 2. I guess that's enough. Oh, he's realizing it's not worth going back to that super, but you want it. Only 1 super. Gonna have to missile some doors. He's gonna want to save that super for the eye door, and then you just get to missile everything else. And we'll see what spring ball method Scotty goes for. The absolute fastest for Hundo is the spring ball baby skip, but not too many people go for it. Looks like Scotty might be setting up for the Stashio skip. Yep, this bomb net pushes that baby Metroid down. I think it's good. It didn't look good at first, but then the baby kind of took a wide swing and it looked better. That Stashio skip was only discovered somewhat recently, last year, I believe. Really cool attack. Just one of those things for somebody who's memeing around, like, I bet, wouldn't it be neat if we could do the baby skip backwards and then it ended up actually being faster to do it that way? Is there another run after this one? Not for these 2 competitors, but there is a run at about 40-45 minutes from now. I believe there's another race coming up. I missed what hemzar's G4 time was. I think it might have been right around 114 or maybe high 113. It's also a very good time. When hemzar turning off screw attack and various suit there, talk more about that when that becomes relevant. I don't think Scotty did that. And I think that Scotty just missile the first step and then do maybe like a spring ball zep skip. I missed the zep skip from Scotty. hemzar being a lot more cautious about his ammo situation, grouping those, choosing to group the Metroids. Looks like Scotty turned off Varia earlier than us. I didn't see him do it more recently, but he does have Varia off. If you're over 70 tanks and you get damage down 6 tanks worth like that, then you have Varia off. And once you do that trick where you have at least 7 tanks, you get hit and then you damage down into range. You just have to be in the air when the baby comes out. You have to be in the air in a couple moments here. So right there, see where he went into the crouch pose. Scotty choosing to do just 1 shot before the crouch pose. It is possible to get 2 shots in. And hemzar is sitting up at the back. Is this going to be a spring ball baby skip attempt or a traditional baby skip attempt? Looks like a traditional. Both set up from the back there. Gosh, a laggy one at that. But does have some good motion here on the baby here. And that looks good. Nicely done. That was like 6 or 7 jumps. You can kind of see how the Stashio skip's a little bit faster, like potentially 4 or even 3 jumps at the very top level. The spring ball baby skip's like 1 jump. And Scotty getting a lot of damage in here during this extra phase where he's standing up. Alright, hemzar took off the screw attack so he could do this zeb skip very quickly, like that. That particular method wasn't available to Scotty unless he did it down back. And that has some specifics to it. If you have enough supers, you don't even necessarily need to go for Zev skip because your beam combo is so good. Although in Scotty's case, he had no supers. And hemzar also down to just one super here, so if he hadn't gone for the Zev skip, it would hurt a little bit too. Well, Scotty's going for that blue bomber on the way out here too, didn't quite get it. That's okay. Does have a screw attack, so is able to go up the left side here. Not worried about getting hit by the pirates. One last moonfall. One last spark. And hemzar also, by taking that Favarius, also can more safely damage down here. And get your GGs in chat for Scotty, finishing in first place. As the volume's still low, just a little bit. Sorry about that. So Scotty's time is officially a 1:18:22. GG. Yeah, I was wondering, Scotty, if that was a PB or not. Looked like nerves might have caught up to you a bit in those Metroid rooms. And then, of course, the complete lack of supers wasn't very helpful. hemzar also did a nice job with the stand-up. If you make a mistake, you can use X-ray to bail you out, but you just don't want to be in that situation. You can just die. hemzar also getting the maybe worn down pretty far in the one shot at the very end. Nicely done. Stand up there. hemzar trying to show off some really difficult shine sparks potentially. It is possible to build a charge in this room. It's stupid. Anybody who does it is just showing off. Oh wow, that was a very far left into the door, but it did swing the door to the side, so it ended up being a good door transition. That's what's important. Not used to seeing that. And taking the hits there from the enemy, that's important because hemzar did turn super attack off, so needs those iframes to get to that first pirate. One last moonfall. One last shine spark. And get your GGs in chat for hemzar, finishing in second place with an official time of 1:21:14. GG. I'll be honest, I don't know how the interviews are set up for this tournament, if the runners are just going to get invites or if that's even working. I know there's been some change with how Discord does its IDs and handles and stuff. we kind of put this restream on last minute too, so I think the runners are just happy to have it streamed at all. And we are joined by Scotty, who's not Shakti. GG.
Shakti, whatever, it's fine.
That's what I've been thinking of when I see your name like last month.
I didn't realize that it does look like that now. Complete accident.
Glass broken. So yeah, you were saying in chat, plus 11. So that was the final time. Is only plus 11 off your PB?
Yeah, it was. Let's see.
So you must have been only a couple seconds off going to the G4 then.
Well, I just reset my split, so I can't tell you. My PB is a 1:18.08.
Yeah, I saw this was. I think this is a better time than you got in any of the qualifiers.
I think so. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Most of my qualifiers, I had a problem with ice Puyo clip, so it was really nice to get it first try.
Yeah, this one was clean. You got the manip there, the buffered shot.
Yeah, you'd think a 7-frame trick, you'd be all right at that, but
the problem is that the speed that you are traveling into the room makes a big difference, and when that Puyo is going to move compared to when you get to shooting range. It's like if you don't have the right jump speed coming in, like you have to either adjust or you just can't even do it. It's deceptively hard for a 7-frame trick, that's for sure. You need a lot of consistency for it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, pretty clean run. Dragon was a little bit scary. I was surprised you went for the Shine Spark kill at the end.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about dying. I guess I haven't got chain damaged in a long time, so probably wasn't even on my mind. But
well, it looked like you aimed down at least. You did the thing.
Yeah, I used to not do that, but I've seen so many people post clips of the chain damage, and I'm like, you know what? I probably need to change what I'm doing there.
Well, you took a little bit. Like I think you got hit once or twice before you aimed down there. It's if you can't get out, it goes very quick.
Right. I don't know. I felt pretty comfy with my live HP, so didn't even think about killing Dragon with supers or whatever.
I thought it was going to be a two spark kill. You looked like your first spark was pretty good. Maybe the second one was high or something.
Yeah, it was too high. I hate when he does that pattern. It's just so annoying. I know people can tell that there's like a lag frame or something when he's going to do that, but I've never been able to see the lag frame or not.
That's really deceptive. I can't tell either.
Yeah, I just kind of go for it and hope he doesn't swoop, but then when he does swoop, I panic and just try to shine spark wherever I can. But it wasn't too bad. At least I got the spike suit.
Yep, first try spike suit. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other parts of the run. I know I think Fantoon was a fast, slow.
Yeah, Fantoon second round. I was gonna go for the 2-round, but I tried to shoot one of the flames with a missile, and I accidentally shot up towards Fantoon, which ended the second round like super early. And then I got a dang slow for the 3rd round, so it made me even more kind of mad. But it was, everything. The whole run was actually pretty clean. I mean, I missed things here and there, like you were saying, but overall, I didn't do any big mess ups. So.
Yep. Yeah, both runners really did a good job of avoiding any big mistakes.
Yeah,
your Ridley fight was really fast. I remember that.
Yeah, my whole Ridley segment was freaking awesome. I was pretty pleased with that. And I kind of got a little lucky at the finish there. I was just spamming supers and hopefully he was dead before he picked me up, and it worked out.
All right. Well, I didn't have anything else to add. I guess I could look ahead and at the challenge. Why do I have the challenge open? Do you know who you're facing next?
I think it's the winner of hats and links.
Oof. So
Yeah.
realistically, links.
Yeah, realistically, I'll be joining the losers bracket here pretty soon. That's okay.
Yeah, the
That's where the party's at. I don't know if you guys knew that.
It's nice, 12 versus 21 seed. Your seeds were close enough together. I mean, you ended up overperforming, almost PBing. I was gonna be. I don't think there's anything hemzar could do against that, but it certainly could have been a competitive race if things had gone a little different. But there's definitely a gap between the top and then the middle. And then
yeah, it's a crazy gap between, like, is it the top 4 and the rest?
Yeah, but it's fun to race.
Oh yeah, it goes from like 114s to 117s or something.
Yeah, that's a pretty big gap.
Yeah, I didn't have anything to add either. Just actually, I did want to add that you guys are all awesome. The Speedgaming crew. This was a super short notice race, and for it to be restreamed, I really appreciate that. It was cool for everyone to jump in and get this going. And thank you so much for commentating. I guess you were last minute jumping in as well.
Yeah, thanks again to T Sigma for jumping in, helping us get the restream set up real quickly. Sassy for setting up race room, QZ for coordinating. Yeah, I'm glad we were able to get this race showcased because it was somewhat close. I mean, even in the early game, I think you had, I don't know, maybe a 15-second edge. It might have been less than that even before the croc divergence. I mean, it was somewhat close.
I like to deceive people by my early game. People are like, "Wow, it's so good," and then everything falls apart at the end. But that's all I had.
All right. Well, in just a little bit here, I think it's less than a half hour away now. I think it's Melon and Mark Lake. I'm gonna get that name wrong.
Usually just call him Merc.
Mark? Okay.
Mark, I don't know.
Mark.
Sorry.
Mark.
I'm sorry I butchered your name, Mark.
Shakti. Mark and Smellin will be facing off just a little bit here, and until then, we will see you next mission.